All
Okay,
right.
so here I am with Glib Vedmid. He is a Ukrainian speedcuber currently studying at University College London. Have you graduated now?
I have. I haven't had my graduation yet, but I have graduated. So,
Okay. So you are. What was your role on UCL Cubing Society? You never made it to
uh,
president or anything, did you? But
yeah, no, I was the competitions manager on paper. So, but I would say in university cubing societies, it's kind of a collective effort. So everybody does everything anyway. So it's
yeah,
only it's in name only, really.
yeah, I guess when it's like you need specific roles to be filled by the student union and
Yeah,
just get them filled to
yeah,
do it
exactly.
independently. So I
Yeah,
mean, what was
bureaucracy
your
bureaucracy is not fun. Bureaucracy is not fun.
okay? So what was your experience setting that up then?
Um, well, as I say, bureaucracy is not fun. I think that's the biggest part of it. But no, it is fun. It is fun. University in the UK especially actually is not that busy. So, and you don't end up interacting that much with people outside of your course and outside of your classes. So I think it's definitely a worthwhile thing to do to have a society, no matter how large it is. I mean, most of our meetings only had a few people, but it's definitely good to have, just something to relax every now and then. We would have like weekly meetups once, maybe sometimes twice. So yeah, it's definitely fun. If anyone watching is in uni and wants to start a society, they should definitely consider it.
Right. And did you do it? Did you participate in any other societies while you were there?
Yeah, I was very involved with the Ukrainian society for obvious reasons, I suppose. Yeah, we have a very nice Ukrainian society at our university. We won Society of the Year last year. Just saying. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, I was on the committee. Just saying. Definitely a deserved victory, and not at all to do with certain events. Uh, but
Mm.
no, it was genuinely a cool society. Also a lot of fun events, speakers, casual stuff, hanging out and whatnot. So, but aside from that, I was like semi-involved with like, things like United Nations Society or other stuff relevant to my degree. I did a degree in politics and international relations, pretty close to what you did, if I recall correctly.
Yeah,
Uh,
I just did politics. Didn't do
yeah.
all that international relations stuff.
Yeah, honestly, good choice. I did not enjoy international relations. It's honestly very boring and very theoretical. So yeah, I think at university when it comes to societies, you want to have like, have it split sort of 50% something that's actually relevant to your degree and can somehow aid you in your career, and then 50% of random hobby stuff.
Interesting. Yeah, I that's probably good advice that I definitely didn't follow. I was a member of the Christian Union and the Athletic Society, and that was pretty much it. I tried to get.
Yeah,
I did ask about getting a cubing society going, but
yeah,
yeah, my uni didn't really want it, and I couldn't really find anybody else willing to help with it, so it never
yeah.
actually happened.
Yeah,
But
that's always the biggest obstacle, I think, with starting a society, actually having people on board, right? Because as said, there's a lot of bureaucracy involved. Usually you need to collect signatures to show that there's enough support for a society to exist. And like it's kind of hard to do that without a society existing. Like, you can't just tell people, oh, we'll have this cool society where you can learn to solve a cube, please sign, right? And then you also need people to be on the committee, and yeah, it's just a nightmare getting it set up. We were lucky in that sense at our uni because we basically had three people trying to set up a cubing society at the same time, and then we were just lucky enough to to learn about each other. So
okay, that's an interesting way of working things out. So you
yeah, for
just
sure.
didn't even know each other. I guess that's the
No,
thing.
not at all.
You have a lot of foreign students at various university cubing
Hmm.
societies, from what I notice.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the beginning stages are the most difficult because, as you say, yeah, you don't really know anyone, right? As I say, in UK universities, you don't really interact much with people outside of your course, and
mm,
as you can imagine, a degree in politics and international relations doesn't have too many cubers in it.
yeah.
Uh, so yeah, I was out of luck for sure. And yeah, it was really random. I think one of our three founding members was asking around on UKCA Discord for whether anyone knows anyone from UCL, and that's how they learned of me. And then there was another guy who was another founding member. I don't remember how we found him as well, but we somehow did. So yeah, it's. I wish this is something that universities were a bit more understanding of and try to facilitate more because yeah, it's just very difficult to find people with common interests unless there's already a society to reflect those interests. So
Mm, okay. And then you also set up the cubing league. So I think I'm going to share the screen of the cubing league spreadsheet, and
okay,
then so yeah, can you talk us all through um, the cubing league, what you set up, and how it works?
sure. Can you like zoom out a bit because that is very busy.
So,
Just
okay,
just
yeah,
just command minus maybe. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
there we go.
Yeah.
That's a bit
So
zoomed.
yeah, great, thanks. Yeah, so essentially, once we got the society going, we didn't want to just have a society. We wanted it to serve some kind of purpose. And from there,
Mm,
we had really two choices. One is organizing WCA comps, and the other was organizing something else, really. Um, my university is very much in central London. And as you can imagine, it's not too easy to find a competition venue in central London. At least one that is
yes.
affordable. Yeah. Uh,
Yes,
I
I
mean,
remember you talking about trying to do that, and you've never
yeah,
managed.
yeah, yeah. I think I found like one semi-reasonable venue, but it never went anywhere because
Mm.
then it turned out that they were like not working on Sundays or something like that. But
I mean,
yeah,
do you still have that thing where technically you can buy associate to membership of UCL Cubing Society and then get free entry to any competitions you ever come up with?
yeah, exactly. So yeah, when we were setting up our society, we made it a point that if you have a membership, you can have like I think it's either free or discounted entry to UCO cubing society competitions, as in WCA
Mm.
competitions. And unfortunately, we never really delivered on that part. But we haven't had any
Yeah.
complaints, thankfully. So, I mean, we would have refunded anyone had they asked for it. So, but as I say, nobody complained. There's also other benefits that come with membership.
Yeah, I
So
mean, I
I think it's
can't imagine it's that expensive anyway, is it?
yeah, no, it was £15, I think. So it's not too absurd. Um, but yeah, anyway, so going back to the cubing league, one of our co-founders, Kerem, he is a speedcuber from Turkey, very high level, has some national records, some national championship titles. He really wanted to do competitions for university societies, and at first I was kind of skeptical. But then we discovered that there's actually quite a few cubing societies in the UK. I believe it's 14 that we ended up having in the cubing league. And so we basically did some, there we go, perfect. So yeah, there's 13 on that, but there's also the York Society, which is only now getting affiliated with their students' union. So we did some
Okay.
networking. We had the UKC in October last year, which is like right at the beginning of the uni year, right? And
Yeah.
so we were lucky to meet a lot of good people there, who were on the committees or in other ways involved with university societies. And yeah, essentially, we did some work in the background, set up a format for the league, chose events, made some non-WC events, and the end result was kind of this sheet, which is essentially what the public sees. There's a lot more that the public doesn't see. But we developed a format and we stuck to it, and thankfully we had very good participation throughout the year. And yeah, you're flicking through there. We are storing records, rankings. We had a university cup competition. So really all sorts of things. And yeah, this is where we are. Essentially, it's sort of a mini WCA thing that's going on. We have events every week, and basically every participating society runs events and submits their solves to the league. Yeah, there's the 3x3 average. If you scroll down, I think we have like 120 people who did 3x3. So yeah, it's definitely been a pretty big success. We're very happy, and we are already preparing for season 2. We just had a cubing league stall at the UK Open, where people could do unofficial events. So we promoted ourselves there a bit. Shout out to Tom Salmon and Ashley Hedge from Warwick and Exeter Societies for helping out with that.
Okay.
So yeah, honestly, it's going very well. Very happy, and yeah, looking forward to next year. I think we will have even more societies joining now that more people know about us. So should be fun.
But then you're not going to be at UCL anymore, are you?
Yeah, so this is something that we already encountered last year, where some societies had alumni coming by, or some external people just hanging out with them. And this is something we felt like needed to be addressed. So we decided on the committee level to allow alumni to participate in the cubing league. So if you have graduated the university that participates in the cubing league, you are allowed to participate on their behalf. You still need to, of course, attend the events in person. So that is something that I can do this year because I'm still going to be living in London. So I can just come over to UCL every now and then.
Hmm.
So yeah, we have alumni. Actually, Rich Casey, who is a UK delegate, who is in his 40s, I believe. He is also a UCL alumni, and he did solves for UCL, despite graduating like close to 20 years ago. So hey, you know what? It works. It works. So yeah,
Yeah.
we want to be as inclusive as possible. Uh, I want to find some way to allow people who are like not affiliated to any universities in any way to also participate, perhaps without the ability to be present on rankings or without the ability to claim records. But yeah, as inclusive as we can be, I think that should be our goal. And that's something that I think we'll be working towards this year as well. And yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, sounds very good. So you were there at UK Open. Did you hear about anyone from other unis who might think about starting a cubing society or anything like that?
Um, yeah, so we had quite a few people join our Discord server. You can probably put the link in the description for your video if there's anyone watching who also wants
Yes.
to join. I think we had like close to 10 people joining, and I think one or two definitely expressed interest in starting societies at their universities. I think one was in Huddersfield, and the other one was somewhere in Scotland. I don't remember where exactly, but yeah. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. We have prepared as the cubing league, we have worked on preparing a guide for how to start a cubing society. So if anyone is interested, again, we have a pretty comprehensive outline for how to do it, what to do. Again, that's probably something that Daniel can link to the video if anyone is interested. It is not
Yeah.
it's not that simple. It is a bit of a tedious process, which does take time, but it's definitely worthwhile. And in the end, you have a cubing society, and you can meet friends, compete in the cubing league, and just have fun. So yeah, hopefully we keep expanding.
Yeah. Sounds good. Okay, so I think it's time to move on to some of your personal cubing endeavors, and
Okay.
so you were originally you've originally come from Ukraine, and you started competing in Ukraine. Um, like, how have things changed over the past 8 years since you started competing?
Yeah. So if you have a look, I did not start competing in Ukraine actually. So you
Oh, you
have
started in Germany, didn't you?
I started in
Yeah.
Germany. Yeah, so I finished my high school education in Germany. So that's where I began. But I did go to Ukraine quite frequently, as you can see, and I especially made a point to come to Ukrainian nationals, which were always for me at the beginning, at least, of my cubing career, like the highlight of the year. Um, so yeah, that's how it started. Then, as you can see there, after 2020, when COVID began, I had quite a bit of a break. Um, don't really know what the exact reason for that was. Just kind of didn't feel the vibe. I don't know. I moved to the UK in 2021. So that's, I think, when comps were like coming back. But yeah, it took me a while to finally get back into it. As you can see there in 2023, I came back. I think my first, yeah, so you can see there, Kala Summer Cup. That was my first comp. It's actually in Cyprus. Not
Mm.
fun. Very, very hot in Cyprus, guys. Do not go to summer comps in Cyprus. Like, just not a good idea. Just not a good idea.
Okay.
The weather is not tolerable. We are not made for it, I'm afraid. And yeah, and then as you can see, I started competing in the UK, and it's been very
Yeah,
fun.
well,
Yeah,
Norwich was where I first saw you, wasn't it? At Norwich
exactly,
Summer.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that one was very spontaneous actually. I was initially just gonna go to Harrow Autumn, as you can see there. I was invited to go there by Daniel Yachkind, who is another Ukrainian competitor living in the UK. And then yeah, just I saw that Norwich was happening, and I was like in London, and I had nothing to do, and I registered literally on the last day of the registration, booked my train tickets, and yeah, it was very not planned basically, but it was very fun. I really like the comps in the UK. I like the community. Everybody speaks English, which was not the case in Germany. So big improvement for me. Uh, so yeah,
Du
it's fun.
nicht,
It's
du
fun.
nicht sprechen Deutsch?
Mein Deutsch ist sehr schlecht. I have lived in Germany for quite a few years, but I finished my schooling in an international school, so I never had the chance to become fluent in German. Oh, I guess I did. I was just too lazy, you know. You can say that.
Okay.
You can say that too, I think. But no,
But
I love
you're fluent in what? English, Ukrainian,
English.
Russian.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can hold a conversation in German. That's like not the end of the world for me. But I don't know. I'm just not a fan of it, to be honest. No offense to any Germans watching. I love you Germans, but yeah, much more at home here in the UK, I would say, and you can probably see that from the number of comps that I have attended since 2023.
Oh
Um,
yeah, you have been to a lot.
yeah, yeah, I think like basically on a monthly basis at least, if not more often. So
Mm.
yeah, it's fun out here. There's some things I would do differently, some things that I don't like, but overall, it's cool. So yeah, I'm sticking around. That's for sure.
Mm. And you were also once Ukrainian FMC champion 1 year, weren't
Yeah,
you?
I was. You can scroll up on your screen there. Championships. I was there. Yeah, if you click championship podiums above the thing.
Ah, yes,
Yeah.
yes, you were
Uh,
there first place.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much for highlighting this important milestone. Yeah, so FMC was like my first serious main event, I would say. I don't really remember how it happened. I think the first time I did FMC it was like at my second or third comp, and I finished 10th in it, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. Like I had like a 39 move solution, I think. Basically just CFOP and, you know, just kind of tried different things until I got like some J perm that I canceled into, and it was fine. So then I took it a bit more seriously, and Ukraine at the time, when it comes to FMC, was not that good. So I was basically immediately competitive. As you can see, 2017, the first nationals were like less than a year after I started competing. Or yeah, I think so. It was like 10 months after I started competing, and then I immediately podiumed. And after that, I really took it seriously. I choked in 2018. I should have won. There was an easy 25 on the last solve that I should have seen, but I didn't because I'm stupid. So I lost that one, unfortunately. But then thankfully 2019, I managed to sneak in. It was a best of one, so kind of a Mickey Mouse victory if you want. But hey, we take those, right, Daniel?
Yeah, why did they
Uh,
only do best of one?
Hey, I don't know.
Ukrainian
I'm not
national
I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. I loved it. It was a great format. I walked in, I said, wow, what a great format.
We had the greatest economy in the history of our country.
It was the greatest format of all time. So yeah, I don't know why it was best of one. I think we had one delegate who was, the big FMC guy, and he had all the national records, and he was the one who won in 2017 and 2018, but he wasn't there in 2019, and he would have been the main contender for the title. So I think maybe that's why, because he was not involved with this comp specifically. But anyway, since those days, Ukraine improved tremendously in FMC. We're now among the best nations in the world for FMC. I think somebody did the statistics the other day where they took the average of the top 10 means of the nation, and Ukraine is 10th for that in the world, which is pretty remarkable, the progress that we've done. I don't think we had
Yeah.
FMC at the latest nationals. I think we actually have separate championships for FMC now. So
Oh yeah, no, I don't remember competing in FMC there.
oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, shout out to Daniel who actually went to Ukrainian nationals last year. That is really worthy of some applause. Shout out. I hope you had fun. It was my idea, I know. If you want to go again, Daniel,
Yeah.
I'll send you the details for travel. Just so yeah.
But why couldn't you go back, Glib?
Next question.
What? You're not allowed to say anything.
Next question. Next question.
Okay then. So you're also a member of the WCA Integrity Committee, aren't you? So,
I am.
What has your experience been on that? How did you get in and all that?
Yeah, sure. So I was initially on the disciplinary committee. Oh, there we go. I should be somewhere there.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that
Why is
guy.
that
Wow.
different? Why is that different to your profile photo? Oh, it's just like a
Yeah, zoomed in.
zoomed in. Okay.
Yeah. So I initially joined the disciplinary committee, which is like the predecessor of integrity. I joined last October, if I recall correctly. As far as joining goes, it's not the most difficult process in the world. If anyone is curious, you would find announcements on the WCA in the news section or recent updates, whatever it's called. They posted there, like looking for members for XYZ. And yeah, I just saw an announcement for a disciplinary committee. I was like, why not? Sounds pretty fun. Then you fill out an application form, which is pretty straightforward. It's kind of like you put in your cubing CV, sort of what things have you done for the community, how have you been involved, answer some like committee specific questions. So, for example, for the disciplinary committee, I had to like share my thoughts on hypothetical cases or like draft emails for hypothetical situations. Just to show like proficiency really and ability to do things. And then I had an interview stage, and then I was selected to be on the committee. And that's
So, are
how
you
I got
allowed
in.
to give any? Are you allowed to give any examples of these hypothetical cases?
Yeah, I think hypotheticals I can comment on. I mean, they're really just your average case, right? It was not something extraordinary because I don't think that's reasonable to expect future newcomers to deal with. I remember one case was like peeking under the blindfold, and you just sort of draft an email for the competitor about the situation. I think another one was related to cheating in FMC. I don't remember exactly what kind. I think maybe the person like going to the bathroom in the middle of the attempt and then getting a crazy solve. So yeah, really just typical, boring, straightforward cases. Because I think the aim with those was really to show that you're able to write an email rather than show that you are sort of this incredible critical thinking person who is able to do everything.
But you did have to deal with an FMC case quite recently, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think I could comment to an extent, right? Because this one is pretty popular as far as community discourse goes. We did have the situation with Kalindu, who got a remarkable 19.67 mean in FMC, which was perhaps not entirely legitimate, as we discovered. And there is a report that is, just 30 odd pages that is available online for anyone curious. Yeah, that was probably the biggest case we've had in a while, and again, very high profile because yeah, I don't even recall when was the last time we had sort of cheating on this level. But that's what the evidence points to. So that was the conclusion we reached, and of course, shout out to the case leaders, the ones who actually wrote the report, which were Sebastiano Tronto and Carter Kukala. They actually know FMC a lot better than I do. I am pretty washed by today's standards when it comes to FMC.
Yeah, obviously, Sebastiano Tronto is the FMC single world record holder.
Yeah,
I was there at Guildford, the FMC in Guildford in 2019 when he broke the world record. Like 20 minutes in, he walked out, submitted his paper like 20 minutes in, walked out of the room, came back 40 minutes later when everybody else had finished to a round of applause because the delegate announced that he got a 16.
Yeah, I didn't actually know that part of the story, so yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty badass, I must say, to walk out after 20 minutes with a 16. I mean, surely you should waste the rest.
Apparently he found it pretty much instantly and just spent 20 minutes checking it and then submitted it, walked out. I mean, you might as well if you're that confident that it works.
Yeah, no, I mean I don't doubt that it works, but surely you have another 40 minutes to try search for a 15 or something along those lines, right? I mean that's what I would be doing anyway. But it was yeah, exactly. It was optimal, right? So in the end, he didn't miss out on anything, so good for him. But yeah, there we have it.
Yeah, and I heard Harry Savage was saying that he almost found it when I interviewed him 2 years ago. He said he almost found the 16, but didn't quite.
Right. Well, I recall watching Sebastiano's explanation, and it made absolutely no sense to me. So I don't know how you go about finding it. It was very advanced as far as my understanding goes. I don't do domino reduction. I'm familiar with how the method works. But yeah, based on what I saw, that was like some very high level stuff, which kind of is easier when you actually have the final solution. But sort of the process of finding it seemed pretty advanced.
Yeah, but not so advanced that it's going to be flagged up as cheating, unlike some of Kalindu's stuff, it appears.
Yeah. Well, I think FMC today, at least, is the most prone to cheating, right? You have so many potential ways of circumventing the rules there. It's very similar to chess in that sense, I would say, right? And unlike chess, we don't really in WC enforce particularly strict checks, right? We don't have metal detectors at the entrance to venues. We don't like search pockets of the competitors and stuff like that. So it's always gonna be a threat, right? That we have potential cheating. I don't really know what's the best way to mitigate it right now. I'm sure that there will be changes in the coming years in terms of how we view FMC and how we deal with potential instances of cheating. At the moment, though, I think surprisingly, right, we don't actually see that much cheating in FMC, or at least not that much high scale cheating. So it seems to be doing fine, right? But I am personally, this is just my opinion, I would be on the stricter side because yeah, I think that the way the regulations are and the things we allow are they provide room for loopholes, right? Sort of things like being able to go to the bathroom during the attempt and coming back and so on and so forth. Just again, it's not something that people use, right? But it's kind of the same thing, and I apologize for diverting to politics here. It's just my degree, but it's the same thing as in enforcing voter ID laws, right? We don't have high levels of people voting with fake IDs or like voting without IDs or whatever else, right? But at the same time, the purpose of a voter ID is to reduce the risks, right? And then we have the trade-off whether it's worth it or not. Voter ID perhaps not so much worth it, but I think additional checks in FMC are certainly something that at some point in WCA might be necessary. I think at this stage we're doing fine, but depending on how things evolve, this is perhaps something to consider.
Right. And of course, it's just under 5 minutes remaining of this free Zoom meeting, unless we do another one afterwards, which I have done in the past. But I think I should also ask you about some of your politics that you've discussed. I don't know how much you're allowed to talk, but obviously you expressed some annoyance at Russians at Euros and things like that.
That is not the right phrasing, I would say. I never judge people on the base of their nationality. I think we should not be doing that. So I definitely don't oppose the presence of Russians as a nation by any means. I do believe that there is a certain standard that needs to exist. And in this case, when we're talking about European championships, again, look, I don't have any grievances with individuals or with Russian cubers in any way. I have a very specific grievance in regards to the Russian regional organization, which, again, this is my personal point of view. I think the things they're doing are not exactly nice, whether it be organization or support of events in occupied Ukrainian territories, or whether it is cooperation with, pro-government organizations or with government officials, or cooperation or other sorts of collaborations with companies that assist the Russian military. I think that as the World Cube Association, I don't think that regional organizations who behave in that manner should be regional organizations, quite frankly. Again, it is not for me to decide because I'm not one to have the power to make those decisions. But I think if we are to go off the precedent that exists in the world in other sports organizations, whether it be football or Olympic Games, for example, in Olympics, the Russian Olympic Committee is currently suspended because they have conducted work in occupied Ukrainian territories. Similarly, the Russian football clubs are suspended from European competitions because the Russian Football League also includes football clubs from occupied Ukrainian territories. So I don't think that there is any reason that the same standard should not apply in cubing, right? And again, I'm not calling to sanction individuals. I do think that the regional organization should face some consequences for doing what they're doing because it's, in my opinion, again, this is just my opinion, against the spirit of the WCA. And when it comes to presence of Russian competitors at European Championships or other international events, I don't have any issue with that against them as individuals. Again, personally, I think it is a bit distasteful for them to be present with Russian flags and sort of, kind of behave as if nothing happened. The European Championship that we just had, there were, I think, 14 Ukrainian competitors, and of them, if I recall correctly, again, I think 12 at least are literally war refugees. So again, I don't think that seeing Russian flags in the venue for us is particularly nice. I personally did not feel very comfortable, and I'm not among the people who have been very much affected by war, but there certainly were others who were a lot more affected. And I could imagine that they may have felt much stronger emotions than I possibly have. So again, I'm not going to get into the specifics about who should be dealing with these issues or how they should be addressed specifically, but I do have an opinion that it needs to be addressed in one way or another.
Fair enough. And then, I mean, in general, what do you expect to happen in the whole politics?
Like, I mean, outside of WC, right? Like, general.
Yeah.
Well, it's a bit of a guessing game, right? And I don't think that we want to be getting into that much. I'll give my general view that historically speaking, justice in one way or another is inevitable, and Ukraine will return to its historically accurate borders of 1991, the borders we've had since our independence, the borders that have been recognized by the entire world, including by Russia. So I think it is a matter of time. I don't know how long it will take. I don't know how the conclusion of the conflict will look like. But I'm sure that, as I say, in one way or another, justice will be reinstated. And look, we as Ukraine, we don't want anything from Russia. And I'm of the opinion that, on the same note, Russia should not want anything from us. So again, once everyone gets what they are entitled to, I think we can call it a day. And I think that historically it will happen at some point. I hope that, of course, as soon as possible. But look, we've been waiting for 10 years already, right? It's not something that's widely known in the West, but the war has been going on since 2014, not since 2022. So we waited for 10 years, and I can probably wait longer if needs to be. Of course, I don't want to, but that's the way it is.
And then you'll go back.
I want to go back. I mean, look, I have enjoyed spending pretty much every summer of my childhood in Crimea. I love Crimea. I want to go to Crimea, and I haven't been in quite a while. Similarly, my favorite hometown football club, Shakhtar Donetsk. I have never seen them play at their home stadium, which is also under occupation, which is a bit ridiculous because the owner spent 400 million US dollars on the stadium. It's one of the best stadiums in Europe. Apologies for the shameless plug. But it's a very nice stadium, and I really, really, at least once in my life, want to be there and to see my home team play because yeah, I don't know. It's these kind of experiences that I never really got the chance to have, right? And certain experiences I feel like have been specifically taken away from me by Russia. And the thing is that Russia claims to be, liberating or fighting for very much people like me, people from Eastern Ukraine, people who may be Russian speaking in their daily lives, or in other ways have some kind of connection to Russia, although I don't think that I do. So it is especially annoying because I'm supposedly liberated by very much the people who I never asked to provide any kind of help or assistance to me. I'm entirely happy being Ukrainian the way I am, and I certainly don't need anyone to come and free me from the oppression or whatever else they might think there is that's going on.
You're planning on going to the World Championships next year? Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, are you planning to, Daniel?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
none of the Ukrainians managed to get to Korea, did they?
Yeah, that is true. That is true. It was a bit far for us, you know. I wouldn't say that Seattle is much closer, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean the flight times are slightly shorter, but not much.
Right. Yeah, and I mean you also have to consider the visa, right? I don't know the situation in South Korea, but I imagine it's probably a bit easier to get a South Korean visa than an American one.
You didn't actually need to get a visa last year.
Okay, yeah. Well,
If you're a British citizen.
I personally do have an American visa, so that is not an issue so much. Whether I'll actually end up going, I guess we'll find out. We'll see. I think I now qualified for some phase 1 registration, so that's cool.
Okay, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
quite.
You don't? You have sub. Wasn't sub 1 average in 5x5 enough?
No, it's
No?
way faster.
Oh, is it very faster? Okay, maybe
I mean, I don't
maybe.
even have a sub 1 average, but I'm pretty sure it's like
Okay.
55 or something.
Oh, is it?
Like,
Okay, well, maybe I'll need to push a
yeah,
bit more,
I mean,
but
yeah,
yeah.
the two easiest for me are either sub 8 for 3x3 or sub 225 for 7x7.
Stop it. Okay, I actually just shout out to me. I got my PR average at UK Open 8:21, so I'm close. I'm close.
You're a bit closer.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I think registration is gonna go to stage 2 anyway, so that's not a problem for me. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see about that. We'll see what my plans are. It's not that difficult to get to Seattle from London, so that's good, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it yet. But hey, why not? Why not?
Yep. Okay. I think we can end it there on a more positive note. Thank you, Glib, for
Yeah.
being interviewed. I'm not sure who else will get interviewed, but anything else you want to say at the end about cubing leagues and
Yeah,
Ukraine or
sure,
anything?
of course. Yeah, if anyone is watching who is a university student, firstly check whether there is a cubing society at your university already, because as I say, there's 14 that already exist. If not, as I say, we have a guide that already exists. We have a lot of active committee members who would be willing to help you with going through the process, which is again very tedious and annoying. So yeah, follow us on Instagram at cubingleague.uk. Daniel is also going to stick the Discord link somewhere in the chat, sorry, in the description for the video. So yeah, we want as many people to join as possible, so please reach out, should be fun. Other than that, keep cubing, keep having fun, support Ukraine, we're cool, we're nice. So yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed this interview. I love talking nonsense for a long time, so this was perfect for me. So thanks, Daniel, for inviting me. Much appreciated. And yeah, I hope to see a lot of your viewers at competitions in the near future. I have quite a few lined up, just like yourself, I imagine.
Yep. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.
Bye.